Hey guys, Jenny from Crazy Crafts back with another video about some informative information stuff. Today I'm talking about inline switches and adapting power things to Australian voltage and power and plugs. So as we can see, this is the one that came with the inflatable device, and it's 120 to 150 volts AC, 50 to 60 hertz is standard. It says 0.3 amps. The output source is 12 volts and 0.6 amps. So this one is 100 to 240 volts input. The output is 12 volts and 0.6 amps. So they essentially match. This one has the Australian pin out on it, as you can see. Now, I've got these in, but they unfortunately are not exactly the same plug style as the ones we came with. So I've got cables on the way to suit these, which will need to be wired in to the fan on your thing. Now, somewhere close to the fan there should be a zipper, which if you undo, you should be able to turn the fan through. Now, I looked at this the other day and was able to get a flathead screwdriver and gently pry off a bit of hot glue that was there until it exposed this. So to replace the cable, you either need to put it through an inline switch, at which point you could cut this cable in any position along the cable. If you did it up here, it'd give you the maximum length. And if you cut it here, you can see one of these cables, and often it's the same case, has a grey stripe on the black. So the grey stripe should be the neutral or negative one, and the other one should be positive. I'm fairly sure, but I'll double check that. And they are both, this one comes through the fan here. So it's, the fans are actually just got a cable tie holding them in place, which you can either release or cut to get it off. Just if you cut it, make sure you've got another one of the same length to put it on, and then you can release that cable out of there. If you use a soldering iron here, you can remove both these cables. Now this, I think, is a little thing that you need to squeeze to get out. I think I broke the last one I tried, but that's not too difficult to do. But if you're cutting the cable on this side, it won't matter. The white one also has grey stripe on one of them. As long as you put them back on the correct ones that they came from, it won't matter. So just put your soldering on here and take the cables off, and you can put them back on the same way. Just you may need to add a little bit more solder, but basically just put the two wires together, put them on there, melt the solder and release and let it dry. Okay, so if you do cut this and get this out and take that off, then you'll need to put the new cable that has the correct thing that suits the new size that everybody in China is now making, no longer making the old size. Put the new cable in through there and wire it on, and then make sure you put the zip tie back, the cable tie back. It has to be super tight, and you can see they've actually pushed the end of the cable tie back in through there. So that should happen on most things. I am updating some of my old inflatables for Christmas to include new power adapters because the old ones blew up or failed or whatever. So I'll be doing that, and I'll do a more invasive video where we show exactly how I cut that all apart and put it back together, because I'm not going to bother wiring switches onto mine because I use timers, which if you're using timers, you just need the plug thing, doesn't need to be wired through a switch. However, anybody who does want to use a switch, we've got two different kinds in stock. They're about $12 each, regardless of which one you get. Now, you've got a silicone, I guess, bubble over top of the switch here. It's just a double pole single throw switch here. And I previously took the screws out, so if you open it up, what you do is you, let's use this one as a, pass your wire through here. Wait for it too big. Anyway, pass your wire through there and then sit it back in here, and the two stripped ends of your wire sit into these two. And if you've got red and black, or black stripe and black with grey stripe and black, just make sure they're matched on either side of the switch and it'll go the right way. So yeah, pass it through there. Crimp these closed after you've set the wire in there. You don't need to solder. And then put the back on and put your screws back in. Okay, my screws are over there. These ones come with these DC plug and socket on the ends, which is handy because we can buy these parts and just plug these into them, no problem. Now, I don't consider this to be a waterproof section, whereas that part is a waterproof section. So these ones, you just release the screws, put your wires in there and screw them back up tight, and that'll hold the thing. And then it just gives you a nice handy plug to put on here. If you want to waterproof it, put heat shrink on it. You'll need to get a heat shrink tubing that's probably at least 1 centimetre in diameter to go around here. And that'll be onto whatever wire you have coming out of it. So just deal with that, or some electrical tape can go around there to seal it. Just get a good seal on it though. They tell me this is waterproof, but I'm not sure. I think I'll be putting electrical tape around there too. That is a 6mm hole apparently, so, and you know, this wire is probably about not quite 6mm, so that's how that one goes. So waterproof inline switches currently available. I've only got a few of each, so if people want them, please let me know. The cables for these ones are on their way. So if anybody wants to change over their old plugs, I have these in 0.6 amp, 1 amp and 1.5 amp. They're all under $10 for those parts. These are $12 or $12 to $15, I think. But those plus the cable will be about $10. So the cables are 3 meters. So you'll be able to put the thing 3 meters from your thing. And yeah, this is no use to anybody. These are all also no use to anybody. So post them to your friends in the US then maybe, but if anybody wants to return them to me, I'm going to return them to the manufacturer and say, thanks, but you don't need them once I get a box full. Okay, so that's my extent of talking about power adapters, changeovers and inline switches. As I said, we'll do another video of me actually doing one. But anybody who wants to try them themselves, I'm happy to provide you with the bits and pieces. Anybody who'd like me to update their inflatable devices, feel free to send it to me. I will send it back to you, but the postage will be at your cost both directions, and plus the cost of that, and about $10 or $15 for my time to do it. It's not a difficult task, but it's a little bit fiddly. So either try it yourself or get me to do it, I don't mind. Anybody who buys things through me, like from Home Depot or wherever we get things from in the future, if you want them updated, I will update them on their way to you so that you don't have to worry about updating them. So it'll just be an extra cost of $10 or $15 for the updates and a bit of, $10 or $15 for my time. So feel free to ask for that. Obviously we're much better off with them having Australian plugs and power options. These ones obviously being the 110 to 240, it's what I call multi-voltage. So the input can be from walls in Australia, New Zealand, England, America, Canada, you know, pretty much anywhere. Everybody is between the 100 to 250 volt input. Output voltage is just the voltage these require, most of these things. And the other Home Depot props are anywhere from 3 volts to 12 volts DC output. So that's what comes out here. Input is what goes in there. Output is what comes out here. So input wall voltage in Australia, 240, and our pin plug, New Zealand uses that same one as well. Input in America, 110, and this pin out. China, I think, and Canada the same. So the output, whatever the inflatable requires. So this particular inflatable requires 12 volts DC output and only 0.6 of an amp, so not too bad. My Harry Potter inflatable, maybe, I don't know, has a different fan or different LEDs or something in it, but it wants 1 amp, so hence I do have those as well. And I did have some other things that were 1.5 amp. I checked things I had in stock. We can get these in pretty much any voltage we want. And I am getting the ones, I've got the ones for Yoda that have this on the end. They're already wired straight into one of these, and they are 3.9 volts. Oh, and no, 5.9 volts and 3 amps, I'm going to say. Anyway, it's on the box and it'll be correct when it's done. So I have those with a thing that goes to a plug like that goes straight into Yoda. It's got a 3 meter plug on it, or cable on it. I do believe Mickey and the Grinch are the same thing. Now some people have got these, and I do believe some of them have the multi-voltage plugs on them. Some of them have got some people have got these and twisted these pins, because obviously you don't need to twist them far to get them into our orientation there. So you just need to twist that one and twist that one, but just be careful because you could break the case, and it's not ideal, but you've got to make sure that it does support our voltage before you worry about even trying that. I do believe Yoda comes with a multi-voltage thing, so I just had to plug him into a plug adapter. Didn't bring the plug adapters to the kitchen bench today. So, yes, I don't sell plug adapters at this point in time, but I can get them. Nice little fine ones that'll just come out of there and straight into the wall. But I do find it makes it a little bit wobbly when you go through a plug adapter and different things. So I tend to not use them. I'd rather change over to the things. As I said, only a few dollars, so if it does cost you a few dollars, I think it's worth it. These are also narrow enough that you can fit them into power boards, which is important, I think, because nothing worse than the big old ones that wouldn't fit in your power board. All right, I think that's everything for today. Anybody wants any more information, please feel free to contact me via Facebook, or if you're desperate, my phone number's on Facebook. And if there's anything I can do to help as far as updating your props with any of these bits and pieces. These are also available for DIYers, and I will be getting these parts in. These are bits I've got for ones I'm doing things next, but I will get these in for anybody who wants to use this setup for any kind of outdoor props. So okay, all right, well, that's all I've got for today, as I said. So thanks for watching and listening, and if you have any questions, get in touch with me. All right, catch you on the flip side.